Hi beauties, welcome back to the channel. It's so nice to have you all again. Rockstars, today is another day for what? Finland. Guys, you're going to be diving right into this unique video I saw. Guys, when I saw this, I was like, wow, so educative. And I thought of sharing it with you guys, my rockstars. So today we're going to be diving into this show titled How to Survive Winter in Finland and enjoy it. What I find fascinating about this topic is that you don't just survive winter, you enjoy winter, right? So if you want to know how to do this, stick with me to the end. Without further ado, let's dive right in.
So if you're about to move to Finland for your work or for your studies, you might have heard that the winters here are cold and dark. The cold winters are in fact one of the biggest shocks for most international students and expats, and it's something that you really need to be prepared for. So that's why in this video I will share with you a bunch of tips on how to survive and also enjoy the Finnish winter like a
Very
boss.
important. Because what's the essence of surviving without enjoying winter, isn't it? Wow.
So what's up guys and welcome back to the channel, it's Oliver here. Also welcome to the Levi Skiing Center. Levi is one of the northernmost and also the most popular of all skiing centers in Finland. We're spending a week here over the New Year's and I thought this would be an excellent opportunity to share some tips about the winter in Finland. So talking of which, how do you actually survive winter in Finland, especially when the weather is like this with dark days, deep snow and temperatures reaching minus 15 or even minus 30 degrees Celsius. So I've already spoken about winter clothing in another video, so let's not go there. Instead, my first tip today is that you should learn to embrace the darkness itself. While the Finnish winter is long and the days are dark, there's also something magical to it, especially when there is a lot of snow on the ground like here today. So whether it's the clear starry skies, which we of course don't have currently, it's snowing during the day, the occasional northern lights, the quiet of the Finnish forest, or the opportunity to just sit in front of the fire, the Finnish winter gives you plenty of opportunities to just wind down and enjoy the moment instead of hurrying everywhere like we do in our day-to-day lives. I would also remiss not to mention the incredible beauty of the polar night. So I've mentioned polar nights in my videos before, but to summarize, polar night is a 52-day long period in the winter during which the sun does not rise above the horizon at all. The polar night only happens in the northernmost parts of Finland, for example here in Levi. This is the polar night below. We have the sun just below the horizon. Today is actually the 1st of January 2022 and the polar night is going to end in 2 days, so on the 3rd of January, and the sun is just below the horizon level. In 2 days it's just going to peak just over the horizon, and from there the days are going to grow longer. But what an absolutely insanely beautiful glow, and of course with all the snow-capped trees or snow-filled trees,
the trees so
which
beautiful.
is emblematic or almost symbolic to the winter in Lapland. So during the polar night you get to experience the so-called blue moment, or the kaamoksen sininen hetki in Finnish. This is basically the daily moment when the sky becomes this almost hypnotic blue with different shades of green and purple that color the sky before it turns pitch black. These really are the moments that make you reflect on your busy day-to-day lives, and I really think that just, stopping and embracing these unique moments of darkness is a great way to enjoy the winter in Finland. Anyways, my next tip to surviving winter in Finland is keeping your energy levels up by exercising regularly. By the way, the local church is just ringing its bells, so don't mind about that. Anyway, even if you learn to enjoy the dark of the winter, it is still rather common that people feel tired and weary during the season, and the dark days have a tendency to drain your energy levels, especially if you commute to and back from work during the dark hours of the day. So this is why it's really crucial to exercise regularly, not only to keep yourself healthy, but also to get the energy boost that one gets when going for a run, hitting the gym, or by taking a few laps in the swimming pool. So there are plenty of great sports that you can do in Finland even during the winter, and all of the large cities here offer excellent public and private sports facilities where you can either continue an old hobby or start a totally new sport. So talking of exercising, another great way not to only survive but to actually enjoy the winter in Finland is by taking part in some of the popular winter activities that we have here. So downhill skiing is one of the most popular popular winter activities in Finland, and many Finnish people actually come to Lapland to spend their winter holidays in one of the many skiing resorts that we have here. While Finland doesn't
This is
have
so
any
beautiful.
mountains per se, the Finnish fells offer a great experience for anyone who is interested in downhill skiing or snowboarding. You can rent all the required gear from the skiing centers for pretty affordable prices, usually 30-40 euros per a couple of hours at a time. Every single skiing center has some kind of a basically skiing rental services where you can get skis, poles and helmets for a day, a few days, or even up to a week. And these are usually right next to the slopes and the skiing lifts, from where then you can jump right into the slopes, start skiing and enjoying the experience. Anyways, talking of Lapland and skiing centers, while this is not a common activity for people to do in their day-to-day lives, I really recommend that you try either husky sledding or snowmobiling while visiting Lapland. It's not only a lot of fun and a unique, and I'm sure an exotic experience for many of you, but both are also excellent ways to go hunting for northern lights. In fact, most skiing centers in Lapland arrange safaris specifically to see northern lights, and while the aurora borealis are rather elusive, they are truly magical to experience if you are lucky. Alright, so another great recommendation is for you to try out either skating or ice hockey. So if you didn't know, ice hockey is the most popular sport in Finland, and of course you can go and watch ice hockey games yourself, but what is even better is that every single municipality in Finland offers either free or extremely affordable ice hockey rinks where everyone can go and either ice skate or play hockey with their friends. Talking of which, if you have the opportunity, I highly recommend that you try something called Pipolätkä, which would roughly translate to beanie hockey, which is basically a casual type of hockey played either on maintained rinks like this or, for example, on sea ice. What is really cool is that for Pipolätkä you don't need any kind of special equipment, just your skates as well as your hockey stick. So as a bit of a segue from ice skating, let's briefly discuss something very serious, which is walking on the ice. So this can mean walking on sea ice or any kind of a frozen lake, or in fact any kind of natural body of water. Please do not go walking, ice skating or kick sledding on the ice, especially if you're not 100% sure that the ice will carry, even if there's other people walking on the ice as well, even if that gives you the opportunity to walk in front of the residence of the Prime Minister of Finland, falling through the ice, in front of the residence of the Prime Minister of Finland or the residence of the President of Finland, which is around the corner, would pretty much suck quite a bit. So every single year people drown in Finland by falling through thin ice, and this can happen even to the most experienced of people because coastal currents, rapid changes in weather and, for example, shipping lanes make the ice layers around the country very unpredictable even for the best of us. So while there are ways to minimize risks when going on the ice, for example, by never going out there alone and by carrying ice picks, going on the ice still requires experience and the right tools to be done safely. So please do not take unnecessary risks, even if it seems to you that a body of water has frozen over properly. So one other great activity for the winter in Lapland specifically
taking,
is
when it comes to that.
Winter hikes or day hikes using snowshoes, and this allows you to walk on top of the snowpack, and this is actually a great way for you to do short few-hour day hikes, for example on top of the Finnish fjells or Finnish mountains that we have here in the northern parts of Finland. And for example here at Pallas, which is really close to the Levi skiing center, which is in the northwest part of Finland, this is a great way, if the weather is good, for you to take a one-day hike. Alright, so my next tip to survive winter in Finland is not to use water-based skincare products when going outside in deep sub-zero weather. So this is especially important if you're about to go, for example, downhill skiing, or if the winds are high enough. In these cases, the wind chill together with the low temperatures can at worst lead to frostbites, which are easily avoidable by using right types of products and by covering your skin with proper clothing. So if you have dry skin during the winter and you do use moisturizers, which are highly recommended, by the way, even if you don't normally have dry skin, you should preferably use oil-based products. In addition, make sure that these absorb well before you go out, because this way you can make sure that the product protects your skin correctly. Also, as an additional tip, it is highly advised that you start using sunscreen already in the spring, especially when doing winter activities. So I know that this might feel counterintuitive because of the cold weather, but the sun can actually very easily burn you even in very cold weather, specifically because of the snow. In these kinds of circumstances, snow actually acts almost like a mirror, reflecting and magnifying the sunlight from every direction. So you don't have to understand more about this, just make sure to protect your skin by using proper sunscreen when the sun is out, even if it feels weird to do it in the cold. Alright, so next up, if you own a car or if you rent a car for a trip, make sure that you are prepared for winter weather. So first and foremost, by law, you have to have winter tires installed during certain months of the year. So do note that in Finland we do not use tire chains in passenger cars, and instead we have purposely built friction or studded tires for the winters. When buying a car, please make sure that the winter tires are also included, especially if you buy a car second-hand. And if not, make sure to buy a good set of winter tires before the season starts. If you come from a country where winter isn't really a thing, you might not think that this is really necessary, but I can tell you it is absolutely necessary, as summer tires are absolutely useless during the winter, and it's actually extremely dangerous to drive and as well as illegal with summer tires in winter conditions. Alright, so second, make sure that you have in your car a few tools that are absolutely necessary during the winter. First, you are going to need a window scraper to basically scrape your windows clean of ice. When it gets cold enough, your car windows are going to freeze from the outside and you have to scrape them before taking off. Second tool that you will need is a snow brush that often actually doubles as a scraper in the other end. So why do you need a brush? Well, first of all, you of course need to clean out your windows from the snow before going on a drive. But in addition, you should also make sure that you brush the lights and your license plates if they're covered in snow. It's super important that you brush your lights before taking off, not only so that you can see where you're driving, but also so that cars behind you can see your driving and braking lights while on the road. This is really crucial, especially during snowfall, because the visibility on the roads can get really bad, and if your taillights are covered, it can easily lead into another car tailgating you in high speeds. Also, a final thing in terms of brushing your cars, this actually comes from fellow drivers. Please brush the snow off the roof of your car before taking off. This might not seem necessary to you, but it's actually really crucial for other drivers. Because if you don't brush the snow off your roof, it is going to fall off the roof while you're driving, and this can significantly lower the visibility for the cars behind you, especially on the highways in high speeds. So cleaning your car is not only polite, but it's also good practice for road safety purposes as well. So anyways, the next tool you need to have in your car is a snow shovel. So the reason for having this is rather simple. During heavy snowfall, you might actually have to dig your car out of the snow, especially if a snow plow has driven past you, because they sometimes accumulate a small amount of snow on the side of the road, blocking the cars that have been parked next to the roads. Also, of course, a shovel is really crucial in case you get into an accident or you, for example, drive off the road and into a ditch. In these cases, having a snow shovel is pretty much the first tool to get you out of trouble, but of course it's sometimes not enough and you need to call someone to winch you out of trouble anyways. So talking about accidents, one more tool that everyone should have in their car at all times is a high visibility jacket. So this is basically for a situation where you either drive off the road or have to park on the side of the road for any number of reasons. So do remember that even though most of the Finnish highways are artificially lit, the visibility is still not great, and you really want to make yourself seen to other drivers, A, in case you need any help, or B, in case you just have to spend a moment on the side of the road while other traffic is passing you in high speed. I should also know that there are a bunch of unlit roads, especially in the northern parts of Finland, which makes driving, for example here in Lapland, even more precarious, especially for those who are not experienced in driving during the winter. One more random point: if you do not have any experience in driving in winter conditions, or you've never owned a car in a country where you actually have snowfall, please practice driving in winter conditions before embarking on long road trips in Finland during the winter, because conditions like these that we have actually right now, this can actually become really dangerous if you don't know what you're doing and you have no experience. For example, right now it's really difficult to figure out where the lanes are going, and it's really difficult to see the car in front of you. So yeah, just make sure that you have enough experience in driving during the winter before embarking on long road trips in Finland during the winter. Alright, so now that you know a bunch of ways that you can enjoy winter in Finland, next I recommend that you watch this video where I explain all the different things that you need to know in order to survive winter in Finland. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Guys, I totally agree with what he said here. First thing he mentioned was to embrace the dark weather. During the winter, it is somewhat dark, especially from around 4 p.m. Yes, it gets so dark like it was 8 p.m. You just have to embrace that fact to be able to enjoy winter, because if you don't, believe me, you'll be so tired and sometimes devastated. Yes, because it just gets so dark quickly. Then the other part I also picked up from here was, if you've not experienced driving during the winter or during heavy snowfalls, please don't drive. Safety is very important than proving anything, okay? So please make sure you learn how to drive during the winter before embarking on long trips like he advised. Then thirdly, one thing I found so fascinating here was the fact that you can snow ski, you can do so many things during the winter instead of being indoors, right? So this is something I really loved enjoying. Although I don't know how to ski, yeah, but I would love to learn how to ski, guys. This was so educative. Like, I learned so many things from here, and I hope you did same as well. I am sure by now many people would have learned how to survive in winter and also enjoy the winter, right? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks so much, guys, for sticking with me to the end. Please don't forget to do what subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and also share to your beautiful family and friends. So we'll see you in our next video. Bye bye.